Hey, I'm BJ with Real Property Management, and today we're going to talk about the difference of a licensed real estate agent and a licensed property manager. What we found is most people that say, "Hey, I want to rent my property, or I've got to move and I've got to find somebody to take care of this." They think, "Let me call the realtor, the guy that sold me the house, and see if he'll manage this." Now, that's not a bad idea, because realtors can lease that property. They can even manage that property in some places, and we can discuss that. But what we found is property managers, people that focus on property management, have systems, processes, procedures built for property management. Some realtors also have that. But just like you wouldn't call me to sell your house, I wouldn't probably call a realtor to manage my rental because that's not what they do every day. I used to be a licensed real estate agent. I did that, 15, 16 years ago. And I've been doing property management now since. To me, it also makes sense why a lot of people think that is property manager is not like a known entity of what people look for. So when you think, hey, I want to rent my property, it makes sense. Top of mind, who sold me the house, or my brother's a real estate agent and he can help me. Property manager is a little bit different. And so what we say is, managing rentals and leasing a property are two different things. You could hire a realtor to market the property, find a tenant, help them move in, but are they going to handle once that property is occupied and handle maintenance and coordinating with vendors and late night emergency calls or late night non-emergency calls but still need to be dealt with because the tenant believes it's an emergency? Again, a typical real estate agent is looking to make 3% of a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 sale, right? And so if they can make $7, 8, 9, $10,000 listing your property and selling it, that's fantastic. But are they going to really work that hard for $200 a month? Now, again, we've built a system where we have 500 doors, but we also have a team built out for that and guys that can handle this. Where a real estate agent is hoping maybe you're going to sell the property one day, and so they can get that big check, and so they'll do the dirty work in the meantime. But the goal is to sell that property. Where our goal is keep that property occupied, keep it nice, keep it to where it becomes a long-term investment for you, where it can be a wealth generating vehicle for you. Now, if you look at Maryland, DC license laws, in Maryland, there's actually no property management license laws. You're not even required to actually be a licensed real estate agent. And so that's where it's very important to find somebody in Maryland that actually has processes, procedures, has been doing this for a long time, not somebody that says, "Hey, yeah, I'll manage that property for you." Because in Maryland, DC, there's big things. There's fair housing, tenant landlord laws, lead-based paint. There's leases that need to be done correctly. Evictions, if you don't have a rental license, can be a pain. There's also managing money correctly. So when we collect rent from the tenant, that needs to be put in a certain type of account. So when we pay the owners, it's not commingled with any other money. Security deposits also need to be held in a separate account from this money and from any other money. So there's a lot that actually goes into property management to make sure that you're following the laws and protecting the owner's money, the tenant's money, and everything like that. And so in DC, there is actually a license for property managers. And so in DC, if you're not a licensed property manager, you cannot manage rentals unless you are a realtor working under a brokerage that allows it. And what we found is there's some brokerages that do it. They do it very well. But there's a lot of brokerages that don't take on property management. And so there might be some real estate agents that want to do it, but their brokerage doesn't want the liability of, evictions and, the tenant not taking care of the house and maybe a fire, that kind of stuff that could have some liability back to that broker. So what we found is there are some realtors that do it and they do a great job. And there's a lot that they do it because they want to keep that property in their system to potentially sell one day. And so we've networked a lot with realtors to say, hey, you do the selling, you help people buy properties, and then you refer them to us. We'll take care of it, we'll manage it, we'll take care of the tenants. And when that owner says, hey, I think I'm done, we'll refer that back to you as a real estate agent so you can sell it. Because we don't do sales. We just focus on property management. And I think I started investing in real estate, a long time ago. And then I became a licensed agent because I could save a little bit of money buying properties. I could save that commission. And then I did that for 10, 15 years and, did well, really enjoyed it. And the market, 2008, and I got into property management. And since then, I actually don't have my license as a realtor anymore. I'm just a full-time property manager doing this in Maryland, DC. So another thing to kind of think about is, and really what the goal is and the job of a property manager is to protect the asset, to take care of the property, to make that a long-term investment for you that can generate some wealth for you, maybe your family, that kind of stuff. So I think the biggest thing is a lot of people think, hey, I need to rent my house, and they top of mind, let me call the realtor. Well, the realtor makes sense because that's the person they talk to when they need to do real estate stuff. But property management is kind of a forgotten entity. Nobody really thinks about us. And so what you want to do is you want to look for a property manager that has good systems, good processes. They've been in business for a long time and that they know how to manage properties in your area. So they protect you from any issues with fair housing, with rental license issues, DC, mold, lead, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's kind of a quick breakdown of the difference of a property manager realtor. And when you're thinking about renting your property, why you really want to know the difference, and then reach out to that property manager. If you're looking to rent a property in Maryland, DC, reach out to us. I can answer any questions for you. I can give you a rent analysis on your property. I'd love to talk to you about it. Again, I'm BJ with Real Property Management, and we manage rentals in Washington, DC and Maryland.